Hey, it's Rohit, and I am coming to you live right now to do a sneak peek of a summit that I'm very excited about, which is going to be happening tomorrow. So many of you might have seen the links to get into this summit. It's the Non Obvious Virtual Summit. It's kind of an experiment for us. It's the first time that I'll be hosting my own virtual gathering. And over the last several weeks, I think like 3 or 4 weeks, I've been doing interviews with people who I've just admired for a long time. Sometimes I've worked with them. Sometimes they're just people that I've seen out there, and I just really wanted to talk to them. And it was my chance to bring all of their insights together around a topic that is a pretty big one for me every time I do something new, which is launching a book. And so in this virtual summit, I've got almost 40, actually 41, we just counted them, 41 contributors who are going to be either interviewed or sharing book marketing tips from all different parts of the industry. So I've, of course, got lots of authors, some authors who've launched books kind of before, and some authors who have launched books during the pandemic. So a lot of them will be sharing different stories of how they've done things. I've got booksellers, so people who own bookstores, which have obviously been really affected right now in terms of not being able to open. So that is going to be part of the conversation. I interviewed Andy Hunter, who's the CEO and founder of a online site called bookshop.org, which has really been taken off right now because lots and lots of people, at least in the beginning of the pandemic, they had Amazon where they were used to placing orders for books and they weren't able to. And so Bookshop really started taking off. And I think they hit like their 2023 projections within a couple months. So I'll be talking to him. I talked to Guy Kawasaki about everything related to book marketing, and he's done 15 different books and actually says during the interview he's not going to do any more books. He doesn't want to write any more books. And so we talk about that, which is probably not the thing you want to talk about in a book marketing summit, but we've got that as part of it. We've got my friend Douglas Burdett, who runs the Marketing Book Podcast. I just interviewed today. So we are literally cramming in the interviews right up until the end to be able to get as many different voices and many different people and inputs into this summit as we possibly can. And so, when I was first launching this, I thought, well, I'll do a 1 day event. I'll interview a bunch of people. I'll probably get like 10 interviews, and then we'll just kind of stagger them throughout the day. And what ended up happening is I had 20, and then I got 30, and then I got 40. And what I didn't do, which I could have done, is extend this thing into a multi-day event because I just figured that's going to span it out too far, and maybe it'll just feel like too much. And so this virtual summit, this non-obvious book summit, is still a day, but we've got 40 speakers. And if you do the math, like that's too many for the span of time that we have. And so what we decided to do was something a little bit unique, which is tomorrow I'm going to kick it off by doing sort of an intro presentation all about the book marketing program that we did for Non-Obvious Megatrends, which is my book that came out in January, right before everything happened. And I'll take you inside and behind the scenes of everything that we did around that launch, some very unique things that I've never done before, and some things that I've definitely never talked about before. And so that'll be what I start off the conference with, start off the summit with. And then we're going to have a private chat, a VIP chat for those of you who registered for the VIP level. We're going to basically go into a Zoom meeting room and just have like a face-to-face conversation where you can sort of ask me anything. I'm going to have a lot of my author friends joining in there. We'll have Idea Press authors as well, who'll all be joining in there, and you can kind of ask. Everybody can just have a transparent talk about what it takes to get a book out there, and that's going to be really, really fun. Starting at 11:30, we're going to release a new video every 15 minutes throughout the day tomorrow. So many of the interviews are longer than 15 minutes. So if you do the math, you won't be able to watch everything all the way through all day long. But that's okay because they're all going to be available as an archive on YouTube for a week publicly, and they'll be available longer than that for anybody who's registered for the event. So if you're interested in the topic, if you haven't registered yet, definitely go to nonobvious.com/bookmarketing and register. There's going to be lots and lots of content, way more than we can even talk about. I mean, I mentioned a couple of the people who we talked to, but there's many different segments of book marketing and book publishing that we're going to talk about as well. So we're going to take a look at the different types of publishing. So, what does it take to self-publish? What does it take to publish with a hybrid publisher like Idea Press? What does it take to get a deal with a traditional book publisher? I'm going to talk to my friend Josh Burnoff about how to write a kick-ass book proposal, a book proposal in his lingo without bullshit, which is what his great book is, Writing Without Bullshit. So, how do you do a great book proposal? We're going to look at how to get on podcasts. We're going to talk about audiobooks with Tom Webster and what it takes to create an awesome audiobook and whether you should read it yourself or you shouldn't read it yourself. How do you take a book that maybe you've had out for a while, that's part of what in publishing industry lingo is called the backlist, and bring it forward and actually talk about kind of more. I'm pulling up the agenda here because I just have to look at some of the other things. I don't even remember some of these conversations. I talked to my friend Kai Wright, another Ogilvy guy, about how to build your personal brand and how that matters. And he tells a really entertaining story about how he did all this testing to figure out the right color for his book cover. So we're going to talk about like cover designs with Jesse from Launch Team. Jesse and I worked together on the launch of Non-Obvious Megatrends, and he's going to talk about Amazon reviews and how to drive more Amazon reviews and get those as a big part of launch, which is super important for many of us, right? To get those Amazon reviews. I'll talk to Michael Port about just what it takes to be effective when you're speaking and presenting, and he'll share some entertaining stories from his body of work with just working with people to be more effective at presenting and some of the pitfalls that he's seen and how to be better at that. Peter Shankman's going to share marketing and PR tips, and he's a entertaining guy, but a wildly creative guy as well. And so he's going to talk about some of the things that he did there. My friend Abba Kwawu is going to talk about marketing and publicity, and she's done a lot of celebrity launches, and so she's going to talk about sort of the scaling up of that and how big it could be. And she tells some stories about having Usher and Pavarotti and Kermit the Frog in in Zoom conversation at the same time, and that's going to be really fun as well. Let's see. Who else do I have? I've got Nick from Book Thinkers. He's a Instagram book blogger. They're called Bookstagrammers. And so he'll talk about like how to get into the Bookstagram movement and like how to get your book to be visible in some of those platforms. And he's got a huge, highly engaged audience as well. David Muldauer, a good friend of mine who's been in the publishing industry for a long time, is going to debunk some of the big myths about bestsellers and best-selling lists. So like, what does it take to get, we have Michael Drew talking about what it takes to get onto a bestseller list. And then we have David Muldauer talking about like, what does that actually mean? Like, what's the difference between an Amazon bestseller, a Wall Street Journal bestseller, like all these different bestsellers, right? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to go inside the industry too. I mean, I've got Kim Wiley from Ingram talking about from a distributor point of view, and they're our distributor for Idea Press. What does it take to get books into people's hands, especially now during the pandemic? I've got Karen from Kirkus. I've got Kevin from Publishers Weekly. So these are industry voices from within publishing talking about how to do publishing and how publishing actually works. So like it gives you kind of the back behind the scenes of that. Let's see who else. Oh, I've got Marlene here. Marlene Seegers is going to talk about foreign rights and foreign publishing also. So lots and lots of speakers, lots and lots of content. This is going to be really, really awesome. I cannot wait to share some of these videos with you. I can't wait to share some of the topics. If you go to nonobvious.com/book marketing, you can register still for both the regular summit as well as the VIP behind the scenes. We're calling it either backstage or after party, even though it's like kind of in the middle of the day. We'll still call it an after party. It's like after my talk, it's an after party. So join us for that. Join us for the summit. Like I said, there's lots and lots of content. It should be an amazing, amazing time. This is just a super fast sneak preview. You can see everything that I mentioned, all of the different talks. You can see all of them listed on the website right now. They're all part of the agenda, including a time for when all of them will be released. I also, as a special bonus, I'm so excited. I have a bunch of really good friends, marketers who've all contributed tips, their biggest and best tips for marketing books based on the books that they've launched. So I've got Mitch Joel, Shama Hyder, Jay Baer, Stephen Shapiro, Melanie Diesel, Catherine Hayden, Pam Slim, and Dan Slagan, all sharing tips on book marketing. And that's going to be kind of interspersed throughout the day. So you'll get quick tips from those authors. You'll get lots of different sessions. It'll just be a really, really awesome time. So we're going to start at 8 o'clock. Sorry, at 10 o'clock tomorrow. I'll start at 8, probably prepping, but we're going to start at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern tomorrow. And that will be live. That session will be live with me. And you can watch that either on YouTube or you can watch it on Facebook. It'll be live streaming pretty much everywhere. And then we're going to roll into our VIP kind of backstage session, which is invite only. And you'll be able to join that if you've registered for that. And at 11:30 Eastern tomorrow, we will start with releasing all of the videos. And what you'll find is if you go to YouTube, to my YouTube channel, so youtube.com/Rohit Bhargava, you'll see all of the videos there. And we're going to create a playlist for those. You can subscribe there and also get an update every time we add a new video. Or you can keep returning to this website, nonobvious.com/bookmarking, and we'll be posting links there throughout the day to all of the videos. So some of the videos, whether you're interested in marketing and publicity for a book, or you want best-selling advice on how to get to the bestseller lists, or if you're just at the beginning stages and you want to try and figure out how to get a book marketing deal, all of that content is going to be available. There's even a masterclass with John Warren from the GW Master's Program at George Washington University here in DC on everything you ever needed to know about metadata. So we've got everything covered for you at this virtual summit. I can't wait to launch it tomorrow. I hope you can join us and let me know if you will be there. Please get in touch with me. Definitely register and share it with anybody who you think might be interested in joining us to see some of this content. We would love to have them there. We'd love to hear their voices, and we'd love to just have them be part of this community. I mean, I think the biggest reason why I'm doing this and why I believe in this is because this is a moment in time when we're all sort of changing what we do on a daily basis, right? And we're spending more time maybe reflecting. And for many of us, that means getting around to that book that either we were planning on doing or that we had already started doing and now we want to kind of get out there. Or if we've already written a book, it's a chance to renew that and get that back out there again. And so the entire aim of this conference and this virtual summit is just to bring together some of those voices on a topic that I love to help these books get out there. I mean, if one of the effects of this whole pandemic is that people read more and they buy more books, that would be awesome. And I'm not just saying that as an author and a publisher. I'm saying that as somebody who just loves books. And so that's ultimately what I hope happens from all of this. And so that's kind of the big piece of this. But I hope you find lots of the content valuable. I hope you enjoy the summit. And please, please, please do join us. Go to nonobvious.com/bookmarketing and be part of this event. Thanks so much.